humans developed some familiar dance forms later identified as classic or folk. Lakhtai has some semblance of the early Central Asians. Aryans' influence took roots, a classical form began to emerge, a semblance of the later known Bharatnatyam. Aryans from the Central Asia came in several waves, and the later ones were more aggressive and energetic. The mood is reflected in this familiar masculine folk dance. A strong imprint on the dance was to be left by the Muslim artists, and they made great contributions to the development of the Kathak. The journey from expression of human sentiment continues. The humans intermingle as the means of communication develop and similar forms develop like Sammi, Jhumar and Luti. Taxila and Margila Valley still enjoy. They thank their creator, and so the odyssey of Taxila continues.
And now I would like to call upon the chief guest, Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Ms. Hina Rabbani Kar. Please come on stage and kindly say a few words as the patron-in-chief of PFOWA. Ladies and gentlemen, the Foreign Minister.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and Assalamu alaikum, and a good afternoon to all the participants and attendees over here. It is today a matter of great privilege and honor for me to first of all acknowledge the presence of the previous patron-in-chief, Mrs. Qureshi. Thank you for being here. Malik Ahmad and his wife, thank you for being here. And of course, Mrs. Tarannum, Bashir, and the entire diplomatic corps, whether it's from Pakistani side or the other. I think your presence, Mrs. Qureshi, and yours, Imad, tells us that once there are many doors to come in, but no doors to leave. And once you're in it to stay for the rest of your life. We all bring new depth. Hopefully, we all bring a degree of newness to this, but then we all remain part of this family that we may not have chosen, but once we're part of it, we remain to be here. I think this is a great opportunity for us to be able to do what we often say or is at least found somewhere at the end of our notes when we're meeting each other in a very different setting, which is the people-to-people contact, which is the cultural outreach. Because eventually, in humanity, there's more that unites us than that divides us. And an excellent example of this is the fact that whether you call it a kofia, a dupatta, or a shawl, it's still a form, a piece of cloth. It's how we choose to call, or the name we ascribe to it, or what it means in our culture that defines what our values are. So things like this gives us an opportunity to really be able to experience firsthand those values, that culture, the cuisine, the people, and it is these bonds which are then there to stay forever. I'm sure all of us, I would remember the Indonesian ambassador trying to serve me his cuisine more than the things that he tries to serve me in the office. So these are all things which unite us. These are things which bring us together. And I think it's a great opportunity that for people of Pakistan, for all those people who will be visiting the stalls, who have watched the cultural performance, it gives them an insight into your cultures, into your performances. And we are thankful for all the effort that was made personally by the ambassadors, by their wives, by the diplomatic corps, by many other people who have attended here. So let me just thank you for all of that. But again, what I would want to concentrate today on, very, very briefly, is the concept of maybe what we can start calling the diplomatic social responsibility. The concept of corporate social responsibility has been here for long, and it has been completely absorbed by the world as something to pursue, as something to follow, as every corporation ensuring that they do some CSR to get them good marketability, to get their products better outreach, etc., etc. But this PFOWA is, I think, really coming up with the concept of what we can now start calling the diplomatic social responsibility. Charity always begins at home. The fact that you take care of the Foreign Office staff the way you have, the fact that you reached out to the victims of the floods of 2010 and this one the way you have, the fact that you sent gifts from the mothers of Pakistan to the Japanese disaster children, all is a living testimony to the fact that what matters is the effort that we're willing to put in, rather than the resources that might be at our hand. And if the resources will be missing and the effort is there, we can reach out and be able to build those resources to be able to build that effort. So once again, just acknowledging the live, enthusiastic performances, the enthusiasm that one witnesses at the cuisine stalls, at the other stalls, the performance by the Chinese, by the Palestinians, by Myanmar, by Russia, by Indonesia, by Nepal, and I'm told that in the previous event there were many more performances, different performances. I think this is a great tradition that we would all pledge, we must all pledge ourselves to continue to contribute no matter what our position. As I said, once we become part of this extended family of the diplomatic corps within Pakistan, we must at least ensure that we contribute for the rest of our lives. As I see, let me acknowledge what I should have acknowledged maybe the first. The presence of many ex-diplomats who have represented Pakistan so successfully and who have made us proud and who will continue to make us proud, but because we may cease to be ambassadors in designation, but we always remain as ambassadors of Pakistan. So with that, let me just thank each one of you who has contributed by your time, by your effort, by your money. And let me end by saying that it was great for once to see the men resting and the women doing all the work. So thank you, all of you, for being here.
Let's have this song and sing together. Dil Dil Pakistan. जाना कहाँ बढ़ती रहे ये रोशनी चलता रहे ये कारवां together दिल दिल पाकिस्तान जा जा पाकिस्तान दिल दिल पाकिस्तान जा जा पाकिस्तान दिल सेहरा बनता है हो दिल दिल पाकिस्तान जा जा पाकिस्तान दिल दिल पाकिस्तान जा जा पाकिस्तान दिल Indonesian Women Association